Hi, I'm Marshall. I'm the owner of Going Gear, and I'm here in our store in Smyrna, Georgia. And this is the extended review of the Klarus FL18. All right, here we are with that Klarus FL18 in the packaging. Pretty cool light. It's something that's different. So, I mean, you see me review a lot of different flashlights if you've been watching my channel for a while, and I get kind of jaded doing the same or similar lights over and over and over. It's nice to see something different every now and then, and the Klarus FL18, like the RS20 and some of their other products, is something that's different. So it's kind of neat to see. It's a pretty cool product. Let's open it up and take a look at it. I managed to destroy the packaging, but some good information on here. You've got Cree XML2 LED as well as some side LEDs. So you've got this lantern area in here that actually has a white, a red, and a green LED in there. So it's pretty neat and actually works really well. A couple switches on there, max output on there, 950 lumens, and you've got the 219 meters of beam distance. And as always, you can get the full specs on our site, goinggear.com. Let me go ahead and open this up and show you what you get on the inside. So if you've seen my RS20 video, this is a pretty similar light to that, but it's all scaled down. And I kind of like the way that they did the side LED on this a little bit better, because on the RS20 you only have it on one side, and on this one you have it on both sides. So it makes a nice little camping lantern. So you can set it down and kind of light up an area, and it works really well for that. This is a rechargeable light. So you have Klarus's magnetic charging system, and it charges via USB with the included cable. I'm just going to go ahead and destroy this bag. But I'm normally not really a fan of proprietary charging systems. You lose the cable and you're kind of out of luck, and there's not really a whole lot you can do about it, especially if the company no longer makes it or they go out of business. In terms of the charging cable, I prefer micro USB. The one exception, or one of the few exceptions, is the Klarus charging cable, and you saw it just take it out of my hand, and that's a big reason why. It's super easy to use. You put it in the general vicinity of that charging port, and it snaps right into place and starts charging. You've got USB on the other end. It's super easy to use. You don't have to worry about unscrewing anything, any little rubber ports, anything where dust and grime can get in there, because it's magnetic. This is all sealed. It's waterproof. It's dustproof. You don't have to worry about anything getting into the charging port, unlike a lot of the charging systems out there. So normally I would say micro USB is the way to go. One of the big exceptions is going to be the Klarus magnetic charging system that works really well. Let me get the busted packaging out of the way. Some of the other stuff that comes with it, you have a lanyard, you have a spare O-ring, you have the user manual, always worth a read. You got a couple buttons, a lot of different colors and functions and all kinds of stuff, different flashing modes and things that you can do with this light. And it's a rechargeable light. A lot of stuff going on with it, so I definitely recommend taking a look at the user manual. See if I can get some of that stuff out of the way. Let's zoom in a little bit and take a little bit closer look at the light. So here is the light. You've got a main LED down in there, so you've got a Cree XML2 LED down in there, and as well as some side LEDs. So you have white, red, and green in there, and you'll see better what that looks like when we go outside. Two switches, and they control the different parts independently. So the top switch, the black switch, is for the main LED. The orange switch is for the side LEDs, and you can operate those independently. So you can turn them both on at the same time. You can turn them on individually. You can do it however you want. So it's a pretty cool setup. And there's the magnetic charging system. A little bit later, I'll show you what it actually looks like when it's charging. I'll get a little power bank out here. And this is a rechargeable light. It actually does come with the battery. So it comes with an 18650 battery. And unlike some of their other products, like some of the XT series, and I think the RS20 actually uses a proprietary battery as well, the FL18 does not use one of Klarus's proprietary batteries. That's kind of nice. So if you have some other 18650s, you can throw them in there. But it does come with an 18650. You can use it straight out of the packaging. You don't need anything else when you buy it, unless you want a holster or something like that. You're ready to go straight from the manufacturer. But if you happen to have some other 18650s, assuming they're high quality ones, you can use them in the light, because it doesn't have the positive and negative on one side like some of their other rechargeable lights. All right, I plugged the other end into the little USB portable backup battery thing, just so you can see what it looks like when this thing is charging. And you can see it turns red when it's charging, and when it's done, it turns green. And it's as simple as that. Nice charging system. Works really, really well. All right, so that is the charging system. Let me show you the operation. Again, completely controlled by these two switches, and they have a different feel to them. You can see you've got that little embossed K and then kind of a bullseye, and they're different shapes, they're different positions, different textures to them, so they're pretty easy to tell apart in the dark. And also the top one controls the top, bottom one controls the bottom. So it's pretty simple. So the interface is pretty much the same for the both of them, except for some flashing modes, but I'll show you those here in a second. So do light presses and you have a quick momentary. To do the constant on, press and hold for about a second and it'll be in constant on. And then when you want to switch between your different outputs, just press the switch and it'll cycle through your different outputs. You have a strobe in there as well, so double click and it'll go into the strobe, and then to turn it off, just do another press and hold. Same thing for the side LEDs. So you got momentary, press and hold when you want the constant on, tap it to cycle through. So you have a high white, a low white, and then red and green, and then you have flashing modes for each of those, sort of. So if it's in either of the white modes, double click and it'll go into a strobe, and tap it and it'll go back into the white, and then let's get it into red, and then double click and it'll go into a flashing red. You see it'll flash SOS, and then tap it again. It's always going to go back into the white, the bright white out of the flashing modes, and then when we have it in green, it's just a flashing green. Oh, nope, it actually flashes SOS. Should have read the manual a little bit more closely. See, this is why you read the manual right here. Actually, is it flashing SOS? No, it's not flashing SOS. It looked like it did, but it's got a kind of a steady little flashing pattern. That, folks, is why you read the user manual. See, now I'm curious about the red. I need to take a little bit closer look. But, All right, so that showed you independently. Let me actually show you what they look like at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and turn the main LED, and it does have a memory. So if you have it in a mode for more than 3 seconds, it has a memory for that. So you can see it's in the super low mode, which is great for up close kind of stuff. All right, let's crank it up a little bit. And so we have the front LED, and then we can turn on the side LED. And then you can turn them off independently too. So if we want to turn that one off, leave the side LED on, you can do that. It's a pretty cool system. It works really well. It's something that's different, and it actually is not a gimmick. You know, it's got a really nice charging system that works really well. It's nice and sealed, and the lantern function is super useful. You know, a really common question that we get is, does this tail stand, can I use it in a tent or a campsite or in a room as a kind of candle thing? And yeah, you can do that, and it is made to do that. But even better, you've got a built-in lantern there, and you've got those different colors and everything. It's a cool system. I really like what they did with this series of lights. So you've got the FL18, you've got the RS20, and maybe a couple others that I can't think of right now. The RS20 is basically a larger version of this with a larger head. I unfortunately don't have one here right now. I do have a video on it if you want to see it. Let me show you the interface again real quick. So these two switches operate independently. The top one is for the main LED, so you press and hold, it'll go into your momentary. And you press and hold for about a second, and it'll go into the constant on, tap, and it'll cycle through, double click, and it'll go into strobe. Same with the side LEDs. So if you press and hold kind of momentarily, it'll do the momentary, then press and hold for about a second, and it'll go into the constant on, and then tap, and it'll cycle through, and you have the double click for all the flashing modes in there as well. All right, so that is the interface of the Klarus FL18. We're going to go and take this outside. We'll show you it on the main LEDs, the side LEDs, show you what they all can do. Let's go and do that. All right, got the FL18 outside. Got the big 40 mag light that I always use as a control. Let's give the mag light a shot first. Little tree right there is about 30 feet away. Dock house down there on the lake is 100 feet. That's the mag light. Let's try out the FL18. Oops, turn it on flood first. All right, there is that tree. There's the dock house. You can see both of them are lit up really well. Let's actually zoom in down there just so you can see how well the dock house is lit up. Actually cycle through the other outputs. Obviously the lower ones aren't going to give you any great distance. We'll zoom back out and show you at a closer distance what they will do. Really good for up close kind of stuff. Really good for battery life. So if you want to extend your battery life, you can drop it down to the lower output, and when you need it, you can crank it up to the high. And then let me show you the floodlight. All right, I'm gonna have to kind of tilt it down. We'll put it off camera a little bit just so you can see how well things are lit up. But you can see it's lighting up things really well. So the ground in front of me, probably about 15 feet away, it's lighting that up really well. And then the low, you can see the sidewalk and everything down there, still lit up pretty well. And then you've got the red and the green. Really cool feature set on this. You got the built-in charging, you got the floodlight that you can have on at the same time as the spotlight. So you can be lighting up everything around you and things at a distance. Really, really cool light. Not a lot of things on the market like this. Alright, let's try it out at a longer distance and see what it can do. Alright, got some more space for the FL18. Let's go ahead and give it a try, see what it can do. Boat right there is about 20 feet away. Got a couple targets set up out there. One is at 50 yards. One on the left is at 100 yards. Tree line beyond is at 130 yards. We cycle through, show you the other outputs. Makes it out to all that pretty darn well. And the lower outputs actually make it out there not too bad either. Obviously the lowest one, meant for up close kind of stuff. We'll zoom back out. You can see really good for up close kind of stuff. And then let me show you the floodlights at this kind of distance. This shows them a little bit better just because I'm basically on the same level of what I'm trying to light up instead of up above. But you see that boat lit up 20 feet away really well. Got some trees in the ground and all that kind of stuff. And then there's the lower level of the white. And then there's your red. You turn it around so I'm not shining myself in the face. Not too smart at 4 o'clock in the morning. And then there's your green. And again, you can control them independently. So you can have the white and the flood on at the same time. Really cool light. Got the built-in charging. Got all the different features. Got the different colors. That's the Klarus FL18. If you like it, you can buy it from me at goinggear.com. Any questions or comments, you can reach me in the comments or any of my guys at goinggear.com. If you like the video, please subscribe. Do a lot of gear and flashlight videos. As always, get going and start something. Thanks for watching.